Good morning, good morning, good morning again, folks. Welcome to today's final front load and another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by Neuroclastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much. They've threatened Neuroclastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, Neuroclastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read the article and share it on all your social media. Also included in there is Neuroclastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC actually does see through with their threat. Also included in there, the Ozarks' first article in regards to Agape Boarding School, now known as Stone for Help Boarding School situation, a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor, still on the premises with full access to the boys, up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You have an attorney general too busy chasing after drag queens and trying and failing to defund public libraries to actually do his job. And you've got an attorney general off his nut, so please read the article, share it on all your social media. Also included, as always, all the pertinent links to the Stop the Shots campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masamba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present, self-explanatory, change.org, shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you do got young children present, folks, please go ahead and use your headphones, alright? Alright, trigger warning. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised, alright? Okay, where we left off. All participants expressed that they would have preferred to have their children live with them prior to residential placement, but the lack of behavioral support and training that they received from the schools to manage their child's behavior made this untenable for them. Prior to their daughter's placement at a residential school, Carla's mother reported Carla never received summer services ever. We had to hire people to watch her during the summer, and our older sons helped some so we could work. Jesus. Okay, parents. We've already gone in on the schools and their incompetence, but hear me on this. It's not the school's job to train you. Okay? That is not the school's responsibility. The schools have their own responsibilities, and yes, they did fail your kids, but you have responsibilities too. The school's job is to educate your child, to refer you to professionals when necessary. Yes, that is true. It's not their job to train you. I hate to be this blunt and rude, but it's not their job. Literally not their job. Okay? As far as summer services, again, it is not the school's job, let alone is it in their budget to provide you with summer services. Schools that are smaller have a hard time just keeping open summer school, okay? Majority of the time, the special ed departments do not have the capacity to do something similar. Right? Shoestring budget, remember? School has a lot of responsibility and culpability here. Yes, this is true. Like, glaringly true. But you can't depend on these schools to be the ones to train you. This is why you cannot rely on the schools to do full functional behavioral assessments. This is why a smart school, or even a humble school, as it were, in my school of the dueling banjos, they refer you to professionals to get those full functioning behavioral assessments done. If you want training at home on how to deal with your kids and their behaviors, then you've got to ask the questions to your doctors, not your school district. Allow me to say that again. If you want to deal with these behaviors and be able to better handle them at home, your job is to ask for referrals from professionals. Yes, even during the assessment process. In fact, that's the best time to ask. To the individuals whose literal job is to teach you these things. Okay? A school is a school is a school. Their job is education. Okay? It's not a school's place to train you on how to handle these situations. It is not a school's place to do this assessment themselves. You see where I'm going with here, right? There are things that are front and primary, front and center school responsibilities. There are things that are also parental responsibilities. A school, instead of trying to throw and see what sticks, needs to refer you to someone who can do a full functional behavioral assessment. After the assessment is done and you get a baseline, it is the professional's job to then go ahead and refer you to the professionals that are going to further help you and assist you in implementing the behavioral intervention plan. These are the individuals that are supposed to train you. Okay? Not the schools. The schools don't know how to handle us. They couldn't even handle me. Okay? And I was a little miss obedient, obey all the rules until it breaks my back, right? And they couldn't even handle me. Nor did they train my parents or my aunt. They referred us to the professionals. We got the assessment done. A behavioral intervention plan was then developed, and then they were referred to the professionals that could assist and train them on how to deal with the not so friendly parts of my diagnosis. Okay? School's responsibility is to educate your child. Your responsibility as a parent is to take those referrals seriously. Get that full functional behavioral assessment done. Get a BIP in place. Bring in the educators once all this is done. And most importantly, to get the referrals that you need to get to the individuals who can and whose job it is to train you to be able to handle these things. We can't make everything the school's responsibility. Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to kick the can down the road, aren't they? They're going to have your kid placed in school after school after school after school. Okay? The schools are guilty of a lot here who send these kids to this hellhole. It's true. It's very true. But we gotta start looking at things logically here. Most fundamental is determining what is the school's responsibility, what is your responsibility. The school can't handhold you and give you everything wrapped up in a bow. They don't have the capacity, the education, or the professionals to be able to do that. Okay? Nor the funds, I might add. If you're referred to a full functional behavioral assessment professional, take it. And while it's being done and after the intervention plan comes together, if you have some questions or you feel that you're inadequate in this area and you need to be trained on how to better deal with it and in better ways that you as the parent, the responsible one, what ways you can implement it at home, that's going to be the time when you need to be asking those questions and asking for those referrals. Okay? You cannot depend on the schools for everything. What goes on at home when your kid is not at school is not their responsibility, it's yours. Let me say that again. And again, I'm not being heartless here. What goes on in school and implementing the BIP in place, IEP goals and IDEA, that is the school's responsibility. What happens after they are in school, including dealing with the behaviors and implementing that BIP at home, is yours. They can't handhold you through it. Get the referrals. Because they have them. I would know. Because my mom got them. And guess what she did? Thankfully, she had a lot of training beforehand because, again, she's been in healthcare since, getting close to 50 years. But not everyone has that. But what you do have access to is to get the referrals to the individuals who can train you in these areas so that you can implement what needs to be implemented at home. And I want to reiterate, that is not the school's responsibility, that's yours. We're going to close out on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.